Welcome back, everyone, to Merge Conflict, your weekly developer podcast, talking all things in the world of development. I'm a little bit sleepy tonight, Frank. I'm not going to lie about it. I've been up since midnight, technically, because we had a very early flight from Boston. We had some coffee, and then went up to Portland, Maine, and we caught some lobster.
Wow. I hope you do that accent for the whole episode. I think everyone will look forward to it, especially in your sleepy mood. I want the sleepy Boston family man. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put a Rhode Island on there.
Maddie told me that it was more New York, but I don't know. I mean, my family is from Boston, but I think it was like Boston. I go Boston, the Boston, but I'm allowed to try to have the accent because my family is legitimately from Boston. So,
okay, great. Hi, James. I'm welcome back to the United States, land of the Bostonians. I'm glad you made it back.
I'm home now. I'm home now after many flights. So we had a very early flight, some layovers, did some things. So I'm back basically, but yeah, we had to get up so early because of like the layovers, all this other stuff. But we're here. It's happening, and yeah, a whole bunch of exciting, weird, interesting news this week to really dive into. I think in general, we got some Apple news. We got some AI news. We got a little bit of everything, a little sprinkle.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, I installed a new browser today. There's a new browser on the block, James. Are you familiar with this browser? It's called the Atlas. Atlas. I don't know why they... Atlas.
At last, there's a browser that has some AI in it. Okay, we'll kick it off. I'm excited about this. I read The Verge that there was a brand new browser. I mean, there's a few new AI browsers, like Comet, I think, is a browser. That's a Perplexity browser. And then a bunch of other browsers have AI features. I'm in Edge, and when I hit the new button, there's a big box that's like, hey, Copilot, what you want me to do? And it has search and chat, but I can do think deeper. I can have it do actions. I can have it hand off things. I can do think deeper, et cetera, et cetera. I'm sure if I have the Chromes, I'm sure Gemini is just everywhere. But I'm interested because I haven't used a new browser, right? A AI native, if you will, browser.
Okay.
Born for AI from the jump,
Edge merely adopted it
out the CI/CD pipeline, first. So, yes, OpenAI. They have what is it? It's a ChatGPT. It's called ChatGPT browser.
ChatGPT Atlas. Yeah.
We were in Boston, and Boston, and we were getting some coffee at Dunkin' Donuts, Boston's finest, and taking the Amtrak. Which did it very lovely. The Downeaster, very lovely line. Would recommend. Heather also took the New York to Boston Amtrak, also very good. I don't think that's the Down East. I think that's the West East.
That's a very long one. Okay,
yeah. It's 4.5 hours. I just took that.
Geez,
okay. It was $30, I believe. $30.
Fantastic. I mean, it's better than a 6-hour car drive. So
yeah. Or trying to get into JFK and then over into Logan. So, we saw an ad. We saw an ad for ChatGPT. It was the first ChatGPT ad I've ever seen in my entire life in downtown Boston, the Commons. And it was just, it was like a poster, and it was like these two girls like sitting on a stoop, whispering to each other, and all it said was ChatGPT, and that was it. I was like, "What is that?"
I'm not sure I get it.
I don't get it. But anyways, that's ChatGPT. So, okay, what is this browser, and why is it? Does it browse the internet?
Kinda. I mean, it mostly just phones back to home everything that you're doing. I think that's its main purpose. But okay, yeah. So I was actually a little excited. We're both technologists. We're both on the vibing bandwagon. So I want to vibe my interneting. I feel like the browser should browse the internet for me now. Like, I don't need to do it. The browser should do it for me. So I'm excited to embrace this new world. I had not tried any of the new browsers out there. And I don't want to be normal, Frank, so I'm trying to think of something positive to say. It had a cute onboarding experience, and it made me log in. That was cute. I can't tell what the heck this thing is good for because, as far as I can tell, this is yet another KHTML / WebKit / Chromium knockoff. Just it's another React Native app that's just bundled together, and they put a little chat box in the upper right. It did not browse the internet for me. It did not change any of my habits. The search bar is more confusing than anything because it doesn't Google whatever you search for. It just dumps you into a ChatGPT session, and their servers were overloaded today, which meant it was mostly just a blank session and not responding to you. So I want to embrace this new world of AI powered browsers because I think there's something there. I don't think it's just a buzzword. I think if we had some smart people use really creative skills and a lot of brainstorming, we could figure out what this AI browser thing is. But I cannot tell what the difference between this and just Edge having Copilot built into it. Or, every time you go to Google, you know how you do a search on Google and now it pops up a dialogue in the middle of your search results and like, do you want to try AI mode? And you're like, no, never show me this dialogue ever again. And it's like, okay, buddy. And then 2 weeks later, it shows you that same dialogue. At least it doesn't show you that dialogue.
Oh, okay.
I really think there is something to this AI first apps because I've been working my little hiney off trying to add AI features to my apps, and I've been really thinking about it. And I think the lowest hanging fruit, the simplest, most boring way to do it is to add a little chat box in the right hand side of your app. And as far as I can tell, that's all this thing is. I want to have faith. Everyone keeps saying it's so neat having this, but I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it.
I guess I'd be really interested to understand what the difference between that and just like ChatGPT is, or I guess like ChatGPT and the Copilot app, like they inherently, you can't just type a URL in and it just doesn't go to it. That's the only difference, really. Right?
This is the ChatGPT app in some ways because there's a little sidebar. It has one sidebar. They ripped the rest of them out of Chromium. And there's one, and it lists all your ChatGPT conversations. I'm like, oh, okay. So this is literally just an app for ChatGPT, which is probably fine, but I feel like it's a real missed opportunity. I don't think that they did enough brainstorming. I'm just going to say it. Like, they were too conservative. Whatever this thing is supposed to be, they must have dropped a bunch of features.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm curious about it because I did something today with Copilot in the browser, Microsoft Copilot. I had to summarize 3 like big web pages basically that had like content on them, and I needed to take, it was like kind of like snapshots in time for things like kind of like yearly statements basically. And I said, okay, there's 3 yearly statements. I need to take these 3 yearly statements that are in like a web page format. I could print them and I could load them up, but I was like, what I want to do is I want to create a summary, like a cohesive, like here are the 5 things I want to do, give it 2 paragraphs, go. Yeah. So I opened up the Copilot button. I said, hey, here's what I want to do. I got 3 tabs open. I got 3 tabs.
Yeah.
And what I want you to do is I want you to summarize this. So it was like, cool, let me summarize it. So I just did 1 tab. And I was like, no, I want to have 3 tabs. It can't see all 3 open tabs.
Okay, right.
Now the thing is pinned on the right hand side. So I was like, let me just change tabs. And when I change tabs, the thing is pinned on the side. The chat history is still there. So I said, cool, here's the second page. Incorporate that into there. So it grabbed the context, incorporated it in. Okay. And then I took the 3rd tab and I was like, hey, here's the 3rd tab. Now redo it all. And it was like, it was like hacky. And it totally did it. And it was really good. And I was like, that's fascinating. I mean, it's inherently no different than loading PDFs up. But it was like, oh, I could see that being nifty. I think that I like that when I open up my Edge browser, there's like this new Copilot mode or whatever, and like it says search or chat. So if I type something complex, it'll like go into like full on like ChatGPT Copilot mode. But if I just search like Frank Krueger, I'll just do like a web search because like, oh, you're looking for this very specific thing. Or if I type in a URL, it goes to the URL. That kind of makes sense. But yeah, I'm wondering like what AI thing do you want the AI thing to do? Because Copilot can actually like go try to buy something. Like if I'm like, hey, go to Best Buy and buy me a thing, it will attempt to go to Best Buy, enter my credit card information, and buy me the thing. Not that I want it to do that, but it can.
Is that advancing humanity? I hope so.
I don't know.
You know, it's funny because the one thing I did with it is kind of what you did with it. So I opened my Twitter feed and I was like, hey, here's my Twitter feed. Is there anything here worth reading? That was my actual question to it. And then 5 minutes later, it came back and told me one of the ads was actually pretty good. And I should go read this other thread. And then it asked if it should summarize that thread for me. And I'm like, nah, I can go read the thread myself. It's tweets. It's no big deal. I think the biggest benefit is because it's in the browser, it has the benefit of being logged into all the websites that you're logged into. So, you know, if you're just in ChatGPT, you can't say, go add this thing to my Amazon cart because it's not logged into Amazon. Yeah. So it's authentication has been a real hurdle for all these AI companies. So the real benefit, and I don't know if this is a benefit to me, the user, but the benefit to the AI company is now they just walk themselves into all these walled gardens, all these wonderful data sources they never had access to, whether you want them to or not. Now that it's a browser, it is fully authenticated. They are in there. They can read the DOM. There are zero security things. And honestly, zero scruples, because the very first thing I set up with this was a proxy intercept, so I could see exactly what traffic it was sending back to OpenAI, because to be honest, this whole thing scared me. I'm like, oh, this is another company I'm giving all my usage history to.
Yep.
We've all kind of given up and given all of our usage history to Google through tracking tokens, through this or that. Google knows everything. Mark Zuckerberg, he knows everything about you. Tim Apple, he knows everything about you. Tim Apple says it's all private and secure, but who knows? So now I'm like, wow, this fourth party, this OpenAI guy, like, do I trust Sama or whatever, Sam Altman? Do I want to give Sam Altman all my data, all my browsing history, and everything I'm logged into, by the way, also? So that's why the very first thing I did was I put up a proxy so I could watch every single bit and byte that went through. And it's doing exactly what you think. It's sending everything that you're doing back to their servers, and it's in constant contact with their servers. So again, I see a lot of benefits for OpenAI. I'm still not sure I've seen benefits for myself. I do not need an AI purchasing things for me. I don't have that much money. That is not a use case I'm at all interested in.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I feel like the on demand is kind of where I'm at right now. And I think these use cases may evolve over time. And as more things, more agents and more MCP servers and more connectors and things like that happen, right? I'm sure, but yeah, I'm not sure if I'm there yet as far as what I need. I mean, that use case that I did today, like I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like that worked, and that saved me a significant amount of time. Like I said, maybe like half an hour, 45 minutes worth of work of like doing anything myself. And I did some work, but I was like, okay, like I'm not sure what else I would need it to do. And that's why I was like interested in people that use like comment or do whatever. I'm like, oh, how is it significantly different than like opening the ChatGPT app or opening Copilot app or whatever, right? Whatever your Perplexity app, whatever it is, versus like having the browser. I do think you make a great point, which is like you are authenticated, right? It can now see stuff. You're not copying and pasting. It has access to it has access to the entire internet that you have authenticated with, right?
Yeah, and I'm honestly not even joking about the why isn't it browsing the web for me? Because from the beginning, from GPT-3 on, you and I have been saying the same thing. It's manual mode is just a little tiresome. Like, I don't know if I want to type into a chat box while I'm browsing the internet. I'm browsing the internet. It should be in the background doing things for me based upon my active browsing. It should be popping up related articles, and it should be proactively doing things on my behalf. You and I have wanted AIs to be more proactive. Just go do the thing. Don't wait for me to command you to go do the thing. That's what I was hoping for. I was hoping to be wowed by like some kind of innovative feature that I'd never thought of before, and I just haven't been.
Yeah, there was a brand new, talking about AI, there was a brand new Copilot commercial for Windows PCs for Copilot Vision. And the whole concept is that it's just on and you just ask it stuff, basically. Like if you're watching a video or you're doing a thing, you can just kind of see everything and do anything all the time, right? Whether you're playing a game, whether you're browsing the web, maybe you're watching a YouTube video, they have a whole thing just about like creating Word docs or like, creating PowerPoint, or like I'm watching this YouTube video. What is that? What's that microphone that Frank has? Like you could just be watching this video. Oh, what's that? Oh, it's like, oh, I can see it, right? It has the vision aspect of it. And like, it's kind of, I think you use a keyword. I think you use a Copilot keyword to enable it, kind of like Siri. But I was like, oh, that's kind of fascinating. Cause I think in a Jarvis way, I mean, one of the ways that I would be able to do it, I would just speak to the thing, and then it would do the thing, whether it had to navigate, whether it had to like have the connectors, didn't have the thing. Like ideally, I'd be like, hey, here's what, you know what I want to do? I want to go to Best Buy and I want to buy this game and I want to get it shipped to my house. Like I want to go buy me the new Kirby game for the Switch 2 from Best Buy. And while you're at it, why don't you just go check to see if it's cheaper somewhere else? And then it would just go do the thing. I could type those words. I think maybe that's what I want an AI browser to do. I'm not sure. I'm just throwing things out there, Frank. I'm throwing it out there.
I'm not going to be impressed until I think they have to cross what I'm going to call the creepy line. The first time it has a feature and my reaction to it is, oh, that's creepy. Then I'll know they're actually doing something new and interesting. Right now, I've had Amazon's Dingus device in my house for 10 years now, and I've been able to ask it to do things, and it's been able to purchase things forever. Those just aren't interesting use cases anymore to me. I wanted to I want to be impressed. I wanted to pass a creepy thing. I wanted to be like, oh, by the way, I bought you plane tickets to Brazil. And be like, why? It's like, because you need to go to Brazil. I'm like, I guess I do. Like, then we're talking. But this whole like, go buy me plane tickets to Brazil. Nah, not happening.
Yeah. No, it's like I browsed your calendar and I realized you had an open week and like, yeah, you can do this thing and it's perfect time to weather to go. And there was a deep discount. It was like perfect. And I looked at your credit card and you had an extra $1,000 sitting there, right? Exactly. I decided to spend it for you. You
paid off your credit card. I feel like we should put something else on there.
That'd be great. Yeah, I think it's so interesting. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you gave it a try. Maybe it'll evolve. If any of our listeners have been like on the AI browser, bandwagon, like let us know. Because
and I will report back because I do want to see something in this space. So I'm going to keep using it, and I'm waiting. I'm just waiting for that creepy moment.
Did it try to try to ingest any of your other like extensions or browsing history or like favorites or anything like that?
Oh, it wanted to pull in all my Safari stuff. So that was where I crossed the line. I'm like, no, you are not allowed to have. I'm Sam Altman. I'm already giving you my browsing history. Just chill out. You can't have my past history either. I'm going to give you my current history, but I'm going to use the browser, even though like I've noted it is stealing literally all my information. We used to call this stuff malware. Now it's Fortune 500 company, but it's taking all my information and uploading it to their servers. So I'm going to allow it to do that for at least a couple weeks and just see. And hopefully they'll pass the creepy test.
Yeah, I'll be really interested. I just did this connector thing in Copilot where I could connect like Gmail and OneDrive and things. So I can say, hey, recap my recent emails from today. And then it's not going to like, I assume it's just going to go like figure that out. Which again, it's like, oh, here's like the results. Here's like a recap. Oh, I have some GitHub alerts, some geocaching stuff, some Marriott. I could be like, hey, go find me, blah, 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 right? Whole bunch of stuff, basically. Like, give me a recap, give me a morning thing, blah, blah, blah. And I could like read all the things, basically, which is like kind of interesting. I don't know if I want that or not, but I did it just to kind of do for your saying is like, okay, is this going to be useful? Is there a creepiness level to it? Can it do something XYZ? I don't know. You know what I mean? So
I don't think I'll be using any of those like email things on a day-to-day basis, but I could totally see coming back from, say, a 2-week vacation and being like, all right, go check out my last 2 weeks of email. Let me know if there's anything really pending here that I need to take care of.
Now, once it starts auto-drafting responses for me to emails, now we're talking.
Proactive. Creep me out a little.
Yeah, it's a draft. You don't need to perform the action. I think there's this magic moment of AI with like Dependabot, which is like very early. It's not even AI; it's just like automated, right? But it's kind of an AI in a way. You think Dependabot, it's a background agent. It's just a thing that opens pull requests for you because your stuff's out of date. Proactive.
Yeah.
Like, I do think what would be really cool is for like GitHub Copilot to be like, oh, I see that, here's like 10 open issues. It's like, oh, based on the other open issues, like what if it tried to figure out, I don't know, I'm just going to throw this out there. Hey, GitHub Copilot PMs out in the world. Like if it's like, oh, like I see that you've added this new circuit. What if I add 5 more new circuits for you? And it just like does it. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I just proactively look at my repo and start opening stuff.
GPT 4.1 is free if you're already paying for Copilot.
Yeah.
So like, why isn't it running continuously?
Yeah, that's 5 mini is 5 mini. 5 mini.
It should just be constantly running in the background, just cranking away. Like, got a new PR for you. Got a new PR for you.
That would be great. Yeah, I'd be so interested in it. I've been thinking about that as well. If it starts planning out new features and just drafts. There was someone gave me this idea talking about background agents and background things just doing stuff, which is like you draft an idea, right? Which would be like, here's a thing. And then be like, okay, now go implement it in 5 different unique user interfaces that blah, blah, blah. And it just like opens 3 pull requests, starts working on 3 different coding agents. You just check them out. And you just like check them on demand. Yeah, that'd be really fascinating. I think the circuit thing would be really interesting. As far as like, oh, go, now ideally what you also want, I think the next step is a way for us to set up agents to like, I wanted to just do it for me, but like, I'm okay with me doing it almost if then that. Like, imagine it's like every night, okay, every night what I want you to do, and I think I was talking to Toby, who's the GitHub MCP lead PM and engineer, maybe both. And he's like, one thing I do is like what I have this like cron job set up, but basically what it does is like fires off a Copilot coding agent request that tells, hey, go pull all of the PRs that got, or any commits that got put into main, go make sure they're documented, go update, blah, 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 go draft a release, do this. So like, we'll like, self cleanse basically every night, make sure all like everything's unit tested. And if not, open a PR, right? Like, oh yeah, just like give me like automatic code quality bots that are kind of doing stuff. Yeah, I'd be interested to see how the browser evolves, because I'm still pretty browser heavy. Like even when I go to my phone, like the number one app I think data consumed is it's like, well, YouTube only is one Wi-Fi, so data doesn't count. But off Wi-Fi, it's definitely in my Edge browser on my phone, or would be Safari if I was a Safari user. But yeah.
Well,
anyway,
sounds like we need to go start proactive.ai. No one steal it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or creepy.ai.
Talking about a company that's been proactive, we got new M5 processors. Now our M5 4 Pros garbage. Throw them in the garbage, Frank. I want to talk specifically. I want to talk specifically about one little device, which is the Vision Pro.
Oh boy! Wait, hang on.
Something else right here also happened is interesting today, which is Samsung Galaxy VR hands-on $17.99. Oh my god! Looks very similar if you haven't seen the Samsung Galaxy VR, and it's running. Remember when we talked about Android XR like 2 years ago? Remember that episode?
Yes, that's a thing I remember totally. Yeah. Android XR.
Well, so anyways, the Samsung Galaxy SR is now out into the world for half the price. It's basically aggressively taking shots. I mean, it is very similar looking in many ways in general. But yes, the Apple Vision Pro 2026 edition, whatever you want to call it, the new 2025 edition, V2, which is unchanged, is somehow surprisingly heavier than the first one with its new fancy double strap that it comes out of the box. They spent 2 years and they've given you a new chip, Frank, and a new strap, so it alleviates the stress on your face. What is happening over here in the world of Apple?
They're dumping out a product people have been working on for the last year so they can move on to a new product. That's probably what they're doing. It's a little. I don't want to be a complete downer today. I'm obviously a big. I actually love my Vision Pro, but it's a device that has many flaws. One of the flaws being it's too heavy. So the fact that they're coming out with a heavier version of it is kind of a little bit sad. You told me about this. You broke this news to me, and my biggest response was processing power just wasn't my biggest issue with it. And that's coming as a developer who put an AI on here. It's running at 30 frames per second, recoding video and displaying it and all that. And I forget what the processor in here is, like it's an M2-ish kind of thing. The processor has not been kind of the downside of it. I think what we users of this device want are higher pixel density sensors. We want to get rid of this silly front screen that is taking up several grams of weight and adding more weight to our noses and foreheads that have to support that weight. We want a lighter device. It's funny, a friend of mine just got like a pair of sunglasses that show a little display on them. They're not the Mark Zuckerberg glasses, but similar things. That's a really cool form factor, especially because you can see the outside world. So this choice of do you want to wear ski goggles or do you want to wear sunglasses? I think that those are two viable form factors for the future, but I think honestly the glasses are going to be the more popular one because the ski goggles are just a little too heavy and there's some downsides to them. I like my ski goggles. I've never taken them skiing, but it would be kind of fun and trippy. The new Vision Pro is going to run the exact same software as the current Vision Pro, and the price went up $500. And I'm not sure if the new strap plus the M5 is really worth it. So I think what they're really doing is just putting out to market something engineers have been working on for probably the last 2 years, and just making sure it's out there before they move on. Because the rumor I heard before this was that the lighter version, the version I'd actually be interested in, was canceled. So that they could work on even more advanced devices. It's tough. It's tough. I really think they're just trying to release what the engineers have been working on for the last little while. Slash supply chain stuff. They needed to put a new processor in
it. That could be too. They could be like oddly, like a new processor could be cost reduction, surprisingly, based on the tariffs that are out there. And maybe they manufacture like the strap somewhere else too. MK BHD like kind of broke down some other things. I think he also said I think there is room for these multiple form factors that serve different purposes and maybe some overlap, like a Venn diagram as well. Because with the Apple Vision Pro or a Meta Quest, for example, there is a immersion that you can get with it that you can't get with glasses. You'll just never be able to get with glasses. Just impossible to get. Whereas with the glasses, you're getting a very small, very more normal form factor that is more of an overlay on top of it that has a reduced functionality set, but still very advanced for where it was just a few years ago to where it is now. But that just means that you can do different things with, these two different form factors. And, I talked to John on my team, and he's a huge Meta Quest guy. I think he has this like workout app, and he's gone through. He's like broken like 20 of these things, but they keep sending him new ones.
That's great.
They keep sending him new ones. He's like, I wear a headband. He's like, but they keep breaking. But he's the immersion of it is like really intense for like the training that he's doing, which is really cool. But so I think there's different form factors. Yeah, I'll be really fascinated to see where they go with it. Like if they decide to move forward and carry on with something lighter or change to be glasses, will that be another then operating system we have to develop for it? That's the only problem that I have is we're not ready to like strip down and do like another stripped down application version from it. You know what I mean? That might be weird.
I think Vision OS could run on the sunglasses platform. That's why
Yeah.
I'm kind of interested in, because
Mm,
the presentation I'm receiving right now is as if these things don't even exist. I am
true.
at 100% pass through at this
Yep.
point. So there's absolutely no difference between this and me just wearing a pair of clear ski goggles or a pair
True.
of clear glasses. And in that case, they don't even have to put all the money into all the cameras and everything to make the real world come in, because the real world will just be
The
there.
real world exists already. It's right there in front of
Yeah.
you.
What you can't do is fool me into thinking I'm in outer space and I'm flying my spaceship and I'm
Yeah.
all isolated, or I'm on a different world, or if someday they got Grand Theft Auto working on here, that I was terrorizing a city or something like that. By the way, Rockstar, make sure Grand Theft Auto works on the Vision Pro, because that's all I really want to do. You want to live in a fantasy world, like that's gaming. It's getting out there and doing something. Games are fun for their mechanics, and games are fun for the escapism. I want the escapism, but I really think Vision OS could work on the other form factors. And I'm saying that somewhat as a developer, hoping I don't have to rewrite all my apps, but also I really think the OS could work there.
It. I mean that makes a lot of sense. And maybe there's like a info plist setting that like needs immersion or something like that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That has like some thing that's like, oh, this actually is only going to work on like the headset, not the glasses. But yeah, else
Yeah.
everything that we saw, I think would work well, especially with the tracking and the things that it's doing. So the question is if it can pick
Mhm.
up all those things. But yeah, I'm interested in it. I think we just got the M5 processors. We haven't got the M5 Pros or obviously Ultras, or even I don't even think we've gotten the M4 Ultras or Maxes
Yeah.
yet. I don't think either. So like that, those will come. I think when the Pros come out, they usually do like the new Pros and then the older number
So
out there as well.
I think the Galaxy XR is actually kind of cool because it's $1,800. That's quite a bit cheaper than the
Yeah.
Vision Pro. And if it has, three quarters of the features of the Vision Pro, then that's excellent. Like the friend I was talking about that just got the sunglasses as an augmented reality device. The problem with those is we were having a FaceTime call and he still had to
Mm.
hold up his phone, and his arms got tired,
Yeah.
holding up the phone because it doesn't have the 8 billion cameras around the periphery so that it can track my lip position, so it can create a virtual image of myself, so it can project that as a fake webcam of my face onto FaceTime calls. So and honestly, in Vision OS 26, iOS 26, whatever, that virtual avatar of you has gotten like uncanny valley
Yeah.
close to you. Like a a lot of people get fooled that it's actually me at first, and then you look at the hair and you're like, "Oh, Frank's hair has never been that neat," or like somehow mine made my face look thinner. It's like, "Oh, that's complimentary. Thank you, Apple." But at the same time, it also made me look like I'm 55 years old and not 45 years old. So I'm like, "Well, that's not nice, Apple." But those are advanced features, that virtual webcam thing, and it's kind of a cool feature because yeah, holding the phone in selfie mode in front of your face is just not that much fun. Anyone who's done that for a long period. I think that's why there's so few FaceTime calls these days. Just no one wants to do it.
Well, and what will be interesting is if the Google XR like actually runs, I think it runs the rest of the Android suite of things as well. So I'm
Hmm.
assuming you'll just be able to open applications like just like yeah, I think one of the things compared to the Meta Quest or like the Meta Glasses is they're like more closed ecosystems. I mean, obviously they're
Yeah,
open where you can develop for them, but it's
just
just
somewhat.
run any iOS app, run any Android app, like it's
They're
just
not
there,
so
right?
open.
Yeah.
As developers, we should talk about this. Like, I've pitched 3 app ideas to be put on MetaQuest, and they've all gotten rejected.
Hmm.
So, they say it's an open system, but I, as a developer, have never been able to get an app on there. Whereas you can write an iOS app today, and I can run it on the Vision
Yeah.
Pro today.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm sad. I don't think we're ever going to get the light version of the Vision Pro. I guess it's kind of nice that there's a better one out there, but it's not at all interesting to me.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Well, all right. Well, before we get out of here, this is our AI browsers and M5 Vision Pro episode. Frank, let's do a little ad for an app that you just published
Oh.
onto the App Store that people can get. I think it's worthy when one of us published an application. I think you've published a lot. We've both been publishing a lot of apps this year, but you have a little new app that people can purchase in the App Store. I'm a Test Flight user and tested it out today, and it worked delightful. So why don't you tell people what it is, what it's all about, why you built it, and how they can get it, how much it costs.
I'll use my real face for this one.
There you go.
Hi, James. Have you ever had to develop for an older version of macOS, but your dev machine is on the newest version of macOS because you're all part of the beta summer?
Yes.
Well, have I got an app for you? It's called Clean Room, Clean Room by Kruger Systems Inc. It's just a little virtual machine app. I wanted to make it super easy to just download old Mac versions, create a virtual machine, spin it up. I wanted to make the hard drive allocation. We're all running out of hard drive space. Make that really nice. So it uses sparse file systems. So it keeps its little disk images nice and small. James, it is a 1.5 megabyte. It is a tiny, tiny little app that is very powerful and allows you to run macOS 12, 13, 14, 15, and then 26 all on the same machine. And I say it's for developers because we're the ones who have to use those old versions of Macs. See our last episode 2 ago or ish so. And it all came from my struggles of I needed to test all my apps on macOS 12, and it was getting harder and harder to figure out how to spin up those machines and get them installed. So I did what every developer does. I wrote my own app to do it. And then I put enough time on it, enough polish on it that I decided to sell it. So anyone out there who is also a developer or someone who just wants to, run a bunch of Macs on their Mac, maybe you don't have enough Mac in your life and you need more.
Some more Mac. You're going to go back. You got the liquid glass. You really don't want it anymore. You can go back.
Yeah, if you just, yeah. And, it's so funny because I've put the virtual machines in full screen mode and then have forgotten that wasn't my main machine.
Yeah.
You get into these weird mental cycles. Anyway, everyone out there, if that sounds at all interesting to you, for the low price of just $10, you can have all the Macs on your computer, as many Macs as you have hard drive space for. So go get Clean Room. It's on the Mac App Store, 1.5 megabytes. Just go get it.
One word. Go check it out. We'll put a link in the show notes. So that's going to do for this week's Emerge Conflict. Till next time, I'm James Montemagno.
And I'm Frank Kruger. Thanks for watching and listening.
Peace.